Felix "Tito" Trinidad.
He's fast, he's accurate, he is a pinpoint puncher, and he is smart.
He doesn't do a lot of different things in there, but the one thing he does with passion, commitment, and absolute determination all the time.
He was born in San Juan, trained by his father, a former featherweight who once fought Salvador Sanchez. From as early as he could walk, Felix Jr. was in the gym. His youth was spent at his father's side. He seemed to absorb the fight game by osmosis. It was endless repetition under a watchful eye that honed Felix Jr. into a fighter. The son grew into a lanky welterweight with show-stopping power. He could step around with a long jab, showed a serviceable defense and footwork. His left hook was a blurred streak of a punch that exploded on impact, while the right hand was accurate and with impeccable timing. Tito's left hook was rocket power. Trinidad stepped into the limelight after clearing out the 147-pound division in Puerto Rico in just 3 years. He gets a title shot against welterweight champion Maurice Blocker. A man unable to live up to his name, Blocker was the taller man, looking to use his lengthy jab to keep him at a safe distance. Felix came on strong with little fear, rocking Blocker with a cross counter over the top to rock him in the first. The second was a round of seek and destroy. Felix moved in, spamming power punches on a completely overwhelmed, soon-to-be former champion. Felix put him to sleep.
Tito, Trinidad.
Felix claimed he would calm down and take his time in his first defense of the newly won title. He was wrong. He comes out in the first and lands a right.
Garcia is a good boxer.
Luis Garcia seemed incapable of picking up his hands on defense, so Felix swarms, continually fires that right hand down the middle, and Garcia keeps catching them with his face. Another hard right lands, and the left hook sweeps through like the Grim Reaper's scythe. Garcia gets up like a dead man walking. A cycle that repeats twice more before the ref ends the one-sided war. Felix would take on the man with the longest undefeated streak in boxing, 56-0 Mexican contender Yuri Boy Campas. Campas was a dogged pressure fighter who wanted to get inside and force a slugfest. Felix fought on the outside, hot-shotting the plodding Mexican with power and getting away before the pressure fighter got to him. second, Campos pulled off a beautiful bit of trickery as he finally got Felix to go down in the trenches. As soon as Felix shoulders into him up close, Campos gives a sliver of ground to get Felix off balance before tagging him with a hook that sits him down. More embarrassed than hurt, Felix fought out the round. It went from bad to worse when Felix threw a pair of left hooks that strayed below the belt. The first got a warning. The second cost him a point. But the fourth finally saw Felix crack Campos's granite chin. It was a two-handed assault that would have put a lesser welterweight out permanently. But Campos remained out on his feet until Richard Steele decides he's seen enough. As welterweight champion, he put on the type of chaotic wars that fans demand. He had a habit of starting slow. It wasn't unusual for Felix to take a hard shot, or even see the canvas early. But it always seemed to call the warrior out of him as he inevitably came roaring back with his two-handed power. He might look hurt. Opponents thought they had him early, only to find Felix was baiting his legendary hook. Felix put together 33 straight wins when he finally starts getting a crack at the top echelon. Pernell Whitaker was the most mobile and elusive man in boxing. Topped all the pound-for-pound lists. In his prime, it was like trying to land a punch on Nightcrawler from the X-Men. It was time for a passing of the torch. Felix consistently touched the untouchable.
He got some tricks that you've never seen before. Trinidad was able to get real effective with his jabs. Away, George.
His length allowed his lead right hands to get off first. And it seemed that Sweet Pea's uncanny reflexes had finally started slipping. The long lead right hands took advantage.
Throwing reckless punches. Trinidad is a puncher.
Felix bossed the smaller legend around the ring, scoring with an unthinkable accuracy against a man called the greatest defensive fighter of his era.
His biggest round.
Felix Trinidad became the only man in history to beat Sweet Pea without question or controversy. It was the night he proved he'd gone from a great puncher to a great boxer.
Felix Tito Trinidad.
Felix looked to make the jump up in weight. If his victory over Whitaker was a cerebral masterpiece, his fight with IBF 154-pound champion Fernando Vargas would prove his chin and guts.
You got to show Trinidad first.
Within seconds, Felix slips a jab and rips a loaded counter hook that scrambles communication between Fernando's brain and body.
Man, you gotta back it up, though. Big left hook by Trinidad. Vargas is stunned. Vargas is stunned and down.
A double hook set him down again.
Second knockdown for Trinidad. Trinidad goes down early, and suddenly Vargas is down twice. He looks for Trinidad, and Vargas is stunned again. Vargas having trouble handling Trinidad's power.
Fernando fights his way back into it.
A brutal body shot by Trinidad that set up this assault, but Vargas is able to put your right hand and suddenly go on with Trinidad's right arm.
A display of bravery stopped short in the third with a low blow right in the eagle. The end of the round talking trash. And started the fourth with the same energy. This time, it's Vargas that has the timing down, and it's Felix with a hand too low to block the counter hook. Vargas swarms, and Felix puts a stop to it with another agonizing visit south of the border.
Second foul of the fight for Trinidad.
The fight was the type of violence that puts people in seats they never really use.
Now Vargas starts to get his jab going. And making a comeback now in round 6. After having been thoroughly dominated in 3-4 and 5. Protecting his right side now, Kelly. 10 seconds left in the round now. They come down the stretch of the round.
Felix proved he could hang with the best at his new weight. And proved himself a legend in the last stanza. 2 sharp shooting hooks and a straight right proved the Puerto Rican one of the finest finishers in the fight game.
And that's it.
Felix, Tito, Trinidad.
Felix made yet another jump up in weight, taking on the WBA middleweight champion William Joppy. The world wondered how Felix would fare fighting in his third weight class. It didn't take long to learn that Tito's punch would still carry up. Joppy put up a valiant fight when he could remain upright.
Now Trinidad, what you gotta do, keep moving. Trinidad translated the counter punch. Hard right hand over the top line, trailing up an opponent, and Felix is a master of most, if not all.
Problem was, his high-volume style left too many openings for Felix's compact, explosive power.
Right cross landed for Joppy. Not hard, but he made contact.
Joppy went down in the fourth,
With 2 hard right hands now. Stopping Joppy in his tracks. Big left hook.
the champion fought his heart out.
Simple man, simple right. Great boxing style. Left hook. He can do it. Take it. Come back. Joppy trading shots toe-to-toe with Trinidad.
But Tito took his title on a short straight right in the fifth.
Knockout. Sensational performance by the greatest finisher in the sport.
But all good things must come to an end. Felix's end came in a unification fight for the undisputed middleweight championship when he ran into an executioner. Bernard Hopkins was more than just a bigger, stronger man. He was as diligent and intelligent as any middleweight champion in history.
Inside Robert
to never let Felix get his feet set.
That's a dangerous position to be in.
He was taller and dominated jabbing range with his reach. He used his strength and grappling skill inside to force Tito to give ground. He did his damage going into and out of the clinch. Hopkins never hung out in punching range where Trinidad could let his hands go freely. And he always made sure his right hand was pinned to his temple in case Felix got off a left hook. Hopkins fought a masterpiece, and Felix could do nothing about it. Hopkins finished a dead game Trinidad in the 12th.
An unexpected victory.
The executioner, Hopkins.
Felix retired not long after. He made a short, semi-successful comeback, but was never the same knockout artist he was at welterweight. His final record stood at 42-3 with 35 KOs. Another chapter in a chronicle of greatness in the history of Puerto Rican boxing.